Drinking is an acceptable norm in a lot of cultures, and there is there's a weird peer pressure when it comes to alcohol. We can call it beer pressure, if you will. And there is early initiation in today's uh, modern era. So uh, it won't be incorrect to say that alcohol is okay, even if you put prohibition from policy stand of view, or even from religious angle. There will always be a lot of exceptions. There's a reason why alcohol still flows a lot in the Gulf states and uh, the so-called Islamic countries. So there's little you can do to fix the leak. Uh, Humans are going to be humans. So the topic today is about alcohol, or rather the whole tendency to normalize the drinking, the habit, because by the time people realize that they have a drinking problem, it's almost always late. Uh, we don't realize that on time. It rarely happens, right? So I after coming to Bangalore, I noticed how alcohol can ruin lives. Although I grew up in a house uh, where where my father was someone who had to drink alcohol on a daily basis, but he got away because he was a very responsible father too. Like he never let that get in the way of his work. But that is not the case of the people I've come across in Bangalore, where you see a systemic problem. There is a drinking problem here. Just walk around the area where bar is or wine shop is, and you'll notice that uh, men show up there first thing in the morning, and it's not a healthy sign, because what you're seeing is just the surface of the problem. The real uh, chunkier part of the problem lies in their house, where women are facing the brunt. Money is getting drained, and there's very little uh, positivity in such a household. So it is a real problem, right? And in this whole, because I've been here for over 1.5 years now, and in this whole mix, I've noticed something that kind of was an odd man out. There is a shopkeeper. His name is Lokesh Anna, and he's the only one I know who will always talk to these drunkards in a very respectable manner. So his reasoning behind his conduct, or rather unique conduct, is that he says he remembers them when they were not like this. And that is such a striking thing to experience and then later say, right? Because he knows them from their younger days. Since it is a small town slash city, everybody knows everyone, and they've literally grown up together and they know their story. So when he said that, it made so much sense that what we look is not what happened overnight. Several things got into play, and a normal, hardworking man just turned into someone who is completely dependent on alcohol. And that is obviously very tragic, and that could have been avoided if there was right intervention at the right time. But that didn't happen, and that's the sad part, right? And you can't do much about it. But yeah, when you look at someone and you instantly judge, because our generation is actually encouraged to judge. Everything has to be instant judgment, and in such an era, it's interesting to note people like him who who go behind the facade and try to understand what is really going on. Because he could be a judge too. Is there a word called judge? Anyway, uh, but yeah, it's very interesting that there are layers to a story, even if it's a drunk story.